Welcome, everyone, and thanks for joining me today for our weekly guided heart coherence peace meditation. And many of you know this is a different format. I'm usually doing this message live on Facebook, but for whatever reason, multiple attempts I've made to post my message to start my recording, I was given a message that I was blocked. And I suspect it may have been because in the text that I mentioned the words war, Israel, Palestine, and only with the intention that we can keep them in prayer, but, and to hold them in coherence. But I was blocked. So I'm trying to do it this way. And the text in this post, I've changed some of the lettering. Hopefully that I'll be able to get through, but who knows how this is going to go. So I really wanted to talk about this idea that, with the conflict that goes on in the outer world with war and the divisiveness, the extreme polarization of positions and, views on what's happening, who's right and wrong. And I spoke about this a little bit last week. It feels like our world is in chaos. And when we're in the midst of this kind of chaos, we feel powerless. How are we to reconcile all of this, our anxiety, and even guilt? This came up in one of the groups that I was in, that when we know that there is war and conflict and suffering, people dying, people being kidnapped, people being displaced, innocent victims having war put upon them, we can feel guilty for the relative ease and comfort that we live in and not being affected. And we want to do something. We want to help. We want to, maybe even to ease our guilt. And in the group that I was in the other day, I shared a remembrance of a time when I went to Lebanon and I was going to work with refugees under my mentor, Maj Kamomaz. And I asked him, how should I dress? Should I wear headscarves? Should I, kind of like hide, my, the benefits of my life, and is just trying to be culturally sensitive and, understanding of the position people were in. And, because I did have some apprehension and guilt about having so much and going over there and working with people who had suffered so much loss. And he actually said, you need to be who you are and dress the way that you feel, and even share what you have and how you live, because it gives them hope for a better life for themselves, to remember that others are not in the suffering that they're enduring. And, I thought that was an interesting perspective. I can't say that I felt that much more comfortable with that advice, but it was a different perspective. And when it comes to our guilt, when we know people are at war, I can say that guilt doesn't serve anyone. Guilt is a useless emotion. The only time guilt can really help, and only for a moment to awaken a realization in us, is when we have guilt and we reflect on what is it that's making us guilty, we can then take action to make amends if we need to make amends, and to shift out of the guilt into an intentional higher perspective and align with a higher state of being. That is the only time that guilt will help us. And in terms of our anxiety and feelings of powerlessness, that's also not useful emotions. If we want to be of support and if we want to be of help, we know that our own inner state of being is a vibration that emanates out into the world, and it is of no use to emanate fear or anxiety or guilt or powerlessness. It's the opposite. It has the opposite effect. So really, our inner alignment can actually help others when we align ourselves in a state of peace and balance, when we can come into our hearts and be in peace and keep our hearts open. This keeping our hearts open is a way that we can remain in balance, that we can remain in the truth and not take positions of either side of being, making someone right and someone wrong. I spoke about this last week. It's through our hearts, through our open hearts, that we can remain in peace, emanate peace, and keep in balance. And I also want to mention, as I did in this post, that we're all under some kind of stress, and we need support. We need support from each other. And if there's anyone that's experiencing that kind of stress and you want some support, I do offer a monthly group. It's a small group, limited to 6 people. I still have openings this month. If anyone wants to come and be part of it, you don't have to come every month. There's no commitment. It's just a monthly group that gets together, and I share techniques and tools and tips and perspectives, and we do meditation together. These techniques that are science-based and align us in that state of inner balance, peace, and what's known as heart coherence. So I invite you to join me for that. And otherwise, I just want to offer this guided heart coherence metta prayer and meditation today, so that we can be that peace, come into that alignment, and share it out into the world. And with that, let's get started, as we always do, by placing our feet firmly on the ground, making that connection to the earth. And we know that the earth is emitting a frequency, a healing energy, a life-giving resource, a life-giving nourishment that supports life on this planet. All plant life and animals are aligning to this energy. Birds are flying through the energy force, the force fields, these vibrations that are emitting from the earth. And when we see that formation, it's actually that heartbeat that the earth is emitting that are affecting circadian rhythms. And so let's connect intentionally with that through our feet, through our grounding, through this intention of knowing and tapping into that heartbeat of the earth. And imagine that we are bringing roots down out of the soles of our feet, down into the earth as this loving, nurturing, nourishing life force energy of earth is coming up into our roots and up into the soles of our feet. And as it comes up through our feet, up into our ankles, imagine that this light of love, this green light, is filling every cell, every atom, and the space between every atom and every cell, and is filling us with healing, loving, nourishing, nurturing light, and is bringing this life force into our entire being as it moves up through our legs, through our knees, our thighs, our hips, up through our torso, filling every space, emitting its heartbeat as we align to this loving life force of Mother Earth. As it comes down into our arms, to the tips of our fingers, up through every energy center in our body, up into our head and up to our very crown, begins to circulate through our bodies, knitting its field in its torus shape as it's like a fountain that's running through our heart, running through our entire body. And as this life force is opening our heart, resting while it circulates in our heart, feel that light, feel that life force. Feel the opening of our heart from this love. Now, using our imaginations, we go to the center of the universe, to the great central sun, the illuminating light and life force that is the light behind all the stars in every galaxy in the entire universe, including our own sun. And as we imagine this bright white light from Father Sky, coming down through our sun to our crown, and as its loving light and illumination comes down into our body, it too brings its light into every cell, every atom, every molecule, and all that space, for which we mostly are space, as it brings down through our energy centers, down our arms to the tips of our fingers and down our torso, opening all our centers as it comes down into our hips, down our legs, down to the soles of our feet, and begins to circulate and open us and heal us. As it circulates through our body, as it comes to rest in our heart, as it continues to circulate its energy field, mingling with the energies and the life force of Mother Earth. As Mother Earth and Father Sky come into divine union, into the oneness that we are. We are made of earth and we are made of stardust. And both opposite, feminine and masculine, earth and sky. We are made of these opposites. And in our bodies and through our hearts, we bring these opposites together to remember the oneness that we are with all creation, with all beings, with the earth, where there are no borders and no separation, where there is that oneness of humanity. And with this oneness, this knowing that we are all one, we breathe into our heart these loving energies of oneness and peace and coherence. And we affirm with the words of Metta as we open our hearts with these loving intentions, as we emit these feelings and intentions out into the world, saying with pure motive and love, may we be in peace. May our hearts remain open. May we live with hearts and minds that are always in balance. May we accept with understanding and wisdom the events in our lives and world. May we forgive others and ourselves for the inevitable harms we cause each other. May we awaken to the light of our own true nature. May we be healed and whole. May we be instruments of healing and wholeness for all beings. Take a deep breath in, and on the out breath, imagine that these intentions, these vibrations, these emanations, these feelings are being brought into the greater field, and that they find their way to all places on this earth where there is disharmony and suffering and war and chaos and injustice and the denial of freedom. May these words be a balm, BALM, be a repair and a remedy and a comfort. May they bring peace and relief from suffering. We send these energies into the earth itself to give the love to this Mother Earth. We extend this light of love out into the greater universe, to all beings of creation that we have maybe not even known yet. We extend this energy to all creation on this earth, human, animal, vegetable, mineral, to all beings of creation. We send love and peace and harmony, coherence and balance. Now we come back to our own bodies as we give gratitude to our own heart, this loving heart that's the knower of all things. This heart that is precognitive and can know the truth. This heart that can transmute the darkness into light, to pain, from pain to healing. This loving heart that can transmute healing energies. And as we take a deep breath and we begin to come back, let's feel our feet on the floor. Let's wiggle our toes and our fingers. Let's take a deep breath as we come back, as we open our eyes, if you had them closed. So I want to thank everyone for joining me today. And again, if you want more support, join us on Wednesday, the first Wednesday of every month. We come together in this group to be in peace, to learn how to align ourselves. And until next week, if I'm out of Facebook jail, be in peace.